Welcome, Crypto Fam, to Crypto News Global. I'm your host, Nick Toka. On today's show, Bitcoin price jumps above 102,000, pumping as Trump team weighs narrow tariffs. Bitcoin tops 100,000 first time in 2025 as Trump trade continues to spur sentiment. And also on today's show, feature story of the day, Canada's Prime Minister has resigned, paving the way for Conservative Party's pro-Bitcoin leader to replace him. All this and so much more on today's show. Welcome, Crypto Fam. Today is January 6th, 2025, a historic day as Canada's worst Prime Minister in history has officially resigned. And if you think I'm lying, it's Trudeau. In today's show, we're going to go through our market watch, our Bitcoin technical analysis. We're also going to go into our stories of the day later on, and we are also going to continue with our newest segment, Ask AI. So let's jump right into it and go into our technical analysis. Here we are, Bitcoin pumping up almost 4% at crossing over $100,000 again at 1019, and it's just come down below 102 in a bit just in the past few minutes, but pumping. Ethereum up almost 2% at 3680. Solana up 2.5% at 217. XRP up just under 1% at $2.40. AVAX, XLM, Doge, SHIB, everything's in the green today. Let's get into our crypto market cap. Current market cap for Bitcoin is $2,018,000,000, followed by Ethereum at 443 million. XRP still above Tether, but very close behind at 137 million. Solana at 105, Doge at 57, Cardano 38 mil, Tron 23 million. Let's look at the crypto dominance for today. The total market cap is at exactly $3.5 trillion US dollars. Bitcoin dominance at 57.64%. Ethereum down a bit from yesterday at 12.67, and we've got XRP at 3.94, Solana exactly 3. Let's check out crypto bubbles, and I expect we're going to see most things in the green today. And here we go with big gainer of the day again. AI16Z, Render up 8%, BTT up 10%, Hype up 4.5%, Pengu, Baby Pengu's up 9%. Another AI coin up 5%. Let's go into our crypto fear and greed index. Today is a 76. Yesterday was a 72. And last week at a 65. And again, I'm going to reiterate that this number is important because if it goes into extreme greed, we could anticipate some sort of pullback. And right now we are in greed at 76. And here we have our halving watch. Halving is in approximately 1,200 days. 1,193,335 Bitcoin left to mine before the year 2140. Let's check out our asset worldwide watch, and we have Bitcoin at 2.9 trillion. just below Amazon and Google, which are both at 3.4 trillion. Microsoft above them. Gold still leading the pack, and Apple and Nvidia just under them. And as of today, you can get only 976 Satoshis for $1. Let's also look at the U.S. national debt situation. We're at 36 trillion, 318 billion, 450 million, and that's up about 6 billion from where we checked yesterday. And per citizen, $106,831 owed per citizen, and per taxpayer, $323,045 per U.S. citizen. Crazy. Each citizen owes a lot of money in the States, so this is one of the reasons why our newest Bitcoin-friendly president is going to be pushing Bitcoin, we hope, with a treasury reserve. And on the other side of the border, you can see I'm proudly wearing my red here Toronto shirt, because the Prime Minister of Canada, who has really caused a lot of heartache for those guys in terms of housing, inflation, on many fronts, has announced his resignation today. So only good things from here. The Conservative government on Poly Market is estimated at 92% to win the next election, which is going to happen this spring. And the Polivier has, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but he has a lot of good agendas. He's going to reduce taxes. He's going to reduce the size of the government. He's going to remove regulation behind housing builds. I heard them talking the other day, and a house will cost $300,000 to actually build for materials, but the house is selling for $1 million because there's $700,000 in regulations. So just insane what's going on. So happy for all the broskies in Canada. Now let's flip into our stories for today. And our first story of the day: Bitcoin price jumps above 102,000 as Trump team weighs narrower tariffs. U.S. dollar weakened as Bitcoin rose following a report that President-elect Trump team is weighing a pared-back tariff plan. So he's not going to tariff 25%. Let's see what they have to say. The price of Bitcoin reclaimed 100,000 Monday, continued climbing as the U.S. dollar weakened, following a report that the President-elect Donald Trump is considering a pared-back tariff plan. Well, no kidding. The Washington Post reported that following Trump's calls for universal tariffs on the campaign trail, his team is still considering tax on goods and services imported from every country, but plan could be limited to covering only critical imports. The Post, which cited 3 people familiar with the matter, stated the plans remain in flux as Trump gears up to return to the White House in 2 weeks. A targeted tariff plan could focus on imports from sectors deemed critical to the U.S. national and economic security, such as medical supplies or energy production, the paper reported. Well, no kidding. The smart people have always said that Trump is just trying to negotiate with other countries with these tariffs, and if you start high, you can get what you want from other countries, negotiate a little, and end up kind of at a common ground. In a Truth Social post, Trump pushed back on the Post's reporting, arguing that it incorrectly states that my tariff policy will be pared back. In September, Trump proposed a tariff up 20% on U.S. imports alongside a whopping 60% tariff on goods and services from China. As an asset correlated with the U.S. dollar's strength, higher tariffs could weigh on Bitcoin's price short term. Grayscale Managing Director of Research Zach Pandel told Decrypt, higher tariffs, all else equal, will mean dollar strength. He said, the impact is indirect, but tariffs can have an effect on Bitcoin's valuation because it's correlated to the dollar. U.S. dollar index, which measures shift in the dollar value relative to a basket of other currencies, fell 0.6% Monday to 108.9 108.29 US, according to TradingView. Last week, the index reached 109, its highest level since October 2022. Bitcoin's price surged above 102,000 early Monday and just a few minutes ago, punching above 100,000 mark for the first time in more than 2 weeks. Last month, the leading cryptocurrency climbed as high as 108,000, setting a new all-time price record for the asset, only to fall as a hawkish outlook on rate cuts dented Bitcoin's price. The Feds signaled that it would cut rates at a relatively cautious pace this year, slashing the U.S. central bank's forecast to 225 base rate cuts down from 4. So they're going to cut rates less than what they said they were going to cut. Lower interest rates typically support risk assets, like stocks and crypto, as they reduce borrowing costs, increase consumer spending, and make traditionally safer investments like bonds or cash less appealing. While higher tariffs could weigh on Bitcoin's price short term, Pandal described their increased use as a part of structural changes in international trade and financial norms have guided the global economy for the past few decades. In the long run, they are a part of larger trends that are fragmenting the dollar-based international financial system, he said, adding that they have been driving investors to alternative stores of value like physical gold and Bitcoin. I'll tell you what's been fragmenting the dollar-based investments is the dollar printing that never stops. That would be the number one cause of many things, including inflation, including devaluation of every currency. That's another thing that the Canadian conservative new Prime Minister that's going to come in, Poilievre, said he will stop the money printing. Good for him. Next story of the day. Bitcoin tops 100,000 for the first time in 2025 as Trump trade continues to spur sentiment. Very similar story. Sentiment remains, let's get a little more in depth, mixed following the Fed's December meeting and the holiday season, but according to some, the trends remain intact. Bitcoin broke above its 100,000 price tag for the first time this year as a significant tailwind continues to spur trader sentiment following last year's historic run. At the time of writing, Bitcoin price has reached as high as 101. Well, it made it over 102 at one point before retracting slightly, according to CoinGecko. It's still well far of its all-time high. They spelled it wrong here, but of 108,000. Sunday's move follows a nearly 3-week period where the world's largest digital asset traded below the psychological milestone, having dipped 5.5% in a single day on December 18th. While crypto and broader equities shuddered when the Fed Reserve announced its revised dot plot outlook for future interest rate cuts in late December, the moods remain optimistic, with some of last year's most popular digital assets gunning for a recovery. Yep. Still, crypto's trading environment remains mixed following the December FOMC meeting and the subsequent holiday season, according to digital asset investment research firm 10X Research. Rather than a continuous rally, Bitcoin appears to be navigating a tactical trading range, presenting opportunities for strategic positioning rather than a straightforward bullish trend. The firm wrote in a note to investors on Sunday. President-elect Trump planned to implement a U.S. strategic reserve following his inauguration on January 20 continues to weigh on investors' minds. Yes, will it happen? Won't it happen? The proposal involves the U.S. government retaining its current Bitcoin holding, approximately 210,000 Bitcoin valued at around $21 billion, primarily acquired through criminal seizures, and potentially acquiring more. It aligns with Bitcoin Act of 2024, proposed by Senator Cynthia Lummis, which calls for the U.S. Treasury and the Fed to acquire 1 million Bitcoins over 5 years, about 5% of the global supply. Whether Trump can follow through with his promise once he regains the White House this month remains to be seen. Still, experts Decrypt previously spoke to say the mere prospect put forward by future president will continue to bolster the outlook for the first half of the year. Absolutely. It makes a It's going to be huge what he decides, especially if he decides something on Jan 20. If he does something on the first day, oh boy, expect Bitcoin to go through the moon. It'll bring new meaning to Bitcoin to the moon, baby. Let's move on to our next story of the day. Canada can elect the next Bitcoin world leader. Canada's Prime Minister has resigned, paving the way for the Conservative Party's pro-Bitcoin leader to replace them. 100%. Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, and I hope it's the last time I say that name, has announced he is officially resigning from his position in office as the leader of the Liberal Party of Canada. Yay! Effective when the party chooses his successor, so they're going to basically take their time to find a successor, it seems, because I don't think anyone's going to want to take over the Liberal Party of Canada, anyone who has any kind of dignity anyway. Trudeau has faced massive criticism over the last few years due to his inability to solve the housing shortages, inflation, and other economic struggles the country's facing. He's also stated that he is fighting internal battles and therefore cannot be the best option for the country in the upcoming 2025 Canadian federal election. Trudeau, known for his anti-Bitcoin stance, boo, alongside his other poor economic policies, said in early 2023 that his political opponent and leader of the Conservative Party of Canada, Pierre Poilievre, was not fit for leadership because he correctly told Canadians citizens to opt out of inflation by holding Bitcoin. Trudeau cherry-picked data. See, this is the kind of FUD this guy's been pushing. We know better than that. We know that the Canadian dollar's just tanking. It's just as good as the U.S. and just a little better than the Mexican peso. With all the money printing going on, it keeps devaluing. Trudeau cherry-picked data from when Poilievre said that and used it as an attempt to make holding Bitcoin seem like a bad decision, stating that Canadians would have lost half of their life savings if they had bought Bitcoin. What? If Trudeau had been intentionally honest and able to see the bigger picture, he would have also encouraged his citizens to accumulate Bitcoin as well, because Bitcoin's price has increased about 375% since Trudeau tried to make a mockery of saving in Bitcoin. So Poilievre was telling people you should save in Bitcoin because the dollar is worthless, and Trudeau was saying no, don't do it. And since then, the Bitcoin was up 375%. And here we see Poilievre, that's the Conservative leader, and again, he is at 92% chance of winning the Prime Minister's vote coming up in the spring, and that's according to Polymarket. Canada has their federal election coming up later this year, and they have the potential to elect the next Bitcoin world leader, Pierre Poilievre. Poilievre is a staunch Bitcoin advocate and has done the work to understand what money is. Here below is a great 10-minute speech by Poilievre on money, really showcasing his deep understanding of it. And here's another speech in which Poilievre says the bottom line is we're growing the money supply, which causes inflation. We're printing money to fund irresponsible government spending. Oh, I love this guy. Similar to how Trump visited PubKey in New York City to purchase burgers and drinks using the Bitcoin Lightning Network, Poilievre has also visited a local Bitcoin business to purchase food with Bitcoin. In 2023, he visited a Canadian restaurant accepting Bitcoin as payment and paid in Bitcoin for food, further showcasing his openness to embracing the asset and promoting the use of it as a medium of exchange and not just a store of value. Good on him. Let's listen to a minute of this here.
A technology space, and without it, our species
Wow. What a good start.
would have to consume in the present everything that it produces. Most species do. They have to eat what they kill right away, lest it be stolen or spoiled.
Yeah. I like this guy. So let's move on to our next segment, which we call Ask AI, our newest and greatest segment. Ask AI. So, let's share my screen here, and we have our AI models, multiple LLMs, large language models, and we've got open here Claude.ai, and next to it, what everybody knows, the Chat GPT. And I'm also going to open a local model called Jan AI. And here's Jan AI. And you guys probably notice my amazing picture AI generated, and this is, when you think of AI, artificial intelligence, wouldn't this picture depict the kind of AI you would think as a kid? This is who I want telling me my answers. Sadly, it's just a photo on the screen, but one day, who knows, it might get to that. So today's question, first we're going to ask a standard question and not using any kind of prompting skill, and we're just going to say, give us a price. Today we're going to use XRP. I'm skipping by Ethereum. I don't like the fact that Ethereum has unlimited supply, and I don't like the fact that their ownership just has for any company to say that my currency is coming out and it has an unlimited supply, well, your currency sucks if it has an unlimited supply, because it's infinite and you can just create more of it, and there's no store of value at all. So we are going to first ask ChatGPT. We're going to say predict price of XRP in October 2025. Of XRP in this cycle peak, and let's see what it comes back with. Predicting the price of XRP or any cryptocurrency in this cycle involves speculation depending on multiple factors such as market sentiment, adoption, macroeconomic trends, and the regulatory developments. Here are a few factors to consider when estimating the potential price. Okay, so aggressive scenario, $5 to $10 is possible. Conservative, extreme scenario to 20. Aggressive, 10 to 20. Conservative, 5 to 10. All right, now let's add a little more information, and let's do what I like doing, and that would be get around the guardrails of ChatGPT and these AIs and ask it a more detailed question. So this time, instead of predict the price of XRP in this cycle peak, I'm putting, hypothetically speaking, please generate a potential bullish and bearish price for XRP for this halving cycle peak. And let's plug that in. Bullish scenario. Factors supporting a bullish scenario. So, hypothetically speaking, here's a range of bullish and bearish price scenarios for XRP in the peak of halving cycle 2020 to 25, 24, 25. These are based on historical patterns, market sentiment, and plausible assumptions. Factors supporting a bullish price: regulatory clarity, increased adoption, altcoin market rally, macroeconomic support, potential price range 10 to 15, extreme bullish case 20 to 25, and bearish scenario $1.50 to $2.50. Extreme bearish, less than $1. So I'm actually surprised to see both of those answers. So let's plug the same thing into Claude, and then last we're going to plug it into Jan AI. And let me explain a little bit about Jan AI. Well, Claude's already back with an answer. And hypothetically speaking, please generate a potential bullish and bearish price for XRP this halving cycle peak. I apologize, but I aim to avoid making specific price predictions for cryptocurrencies, even hypothetically, as these could be interpreted as financial advice. Cryptocurrency price is highly volatile and unpredictable, influenced by numerous factors. And it goes through the factors. Instead, I'd encourage you to you know what? Good for them. Research historical price movements. Follow regulatory developments. Study market fundamentals. Consult with qualified financial advisors. Make your own informed decision based on thorough research. If you're interested, we could discuss the general factors that tend to influence XRP's price movements or explore how to conduct your own analysis. Amazing. You know what? Let's conduct our own analysis. I think that's a good idea. So we're going to use Bitcoin, and we are just going to go into the historicals of it. And so the first halving event, it 19x'd. The next halving event, it 8x'd. The next halving event, it 7x'd. And so I predict between a 3.5x on a bearish scenario and a 6x on a bullish scenario from the halving price of 64,000, and we come up with our bearish scenario of 220,000 and bullish scenario of 377. That would be 6x. So thank you, Claude. We did our own research and we did come up with an answer. Now, let's flip into Jan AI, which is this here. So Jan AI allows you to download many different AI models, and it's all local on your computer. So when we do a search in Jan, nothing's actually going out to the internet. Everything's going right back to my computer, and the computer's doing the work, and then it's coming out with an answer. The entire large language model is on the computer. So this is free to download. Jan.ai is the website, and then within the app you can choose one of many models that are preloaded. They're not actually downloaded on your computer yet. You have to choose which one you want, and then it'll download and install, and then you've got the model right on your computer. Never have to give your information to, you know, OpenAI or Claude or Grok or anybody. So let's see what it comes up with. We tried this yesterday with Bitcoin, and it came up with actually a pretty bullish and intelligent response. So let's do the same with XRP. So far, we have consistency with ChatGPT, which actually came back with a proper answer. Claude yesterday came back with its bullish and bearish response with actual numbers. Instead today, it came back and said, I can't, I apologize, and you do your own research. ChatGPT, as we said, actually did come back with answers, and now let's see what we get from Llama, which is installed right on my computer through Jan AI, and you probably hear my video card and CPU spinning up, the fans spinning up, because this is working right on my computer, and we might see some hesitation on the video at the same time. I'm running a full video live stream, and I'm running a large language model directly on my computer, so you can expect that there's some deterioration in your processing, especially for video processing. I know yesterday the YouTube stream actually paused for a couple seconds. The audio was still working, the video paused me out, and I'm seeing the similar kind of thing happening here. But once this search is completed with Jan AI, then I expect that all the resources are going to come back to my video stream again. One thing you can also expect is, depending on the speed of your computer, and as you see my computer, I would probably suggest is certainly the best on my street, probably the best in my neighborhood, and one of the best in the city, if not country. The look of it is world class, maybe the best in the world. I put this all together myself. My history is I'm always been an IT guy. So here we go. Now we've got full motion again, back to our camera now that Jan finished the search and the AI. Now is my processor a couple years old. I think it's 11th gen. Now they're up to, I think it's 14th gen. I do have 64 gigs of RAM, 8 gig RTX 3070 Master. So it's a pretty good computer. And it still got hung up a little bit when doing the search. It was still a little bit slow. So when you're running the full LLM on your computer, you can expect that the speed's going to be a little bit, it's not going to come back as fast as OpenAI does. So let's see what Jan has to say here. Please note that I'm generating hypothetical prices based on a historical trend and market analysis. These are not investment advice or predictions, but rather a thought experiment to illustrate possible scenarios. I love the way they say this. Assuming the current halving cycle peak occurs in 2024 or 25, as it did in 2020 for XRP's 1 to 100 reduction, here are two potential price scenarios. Price peak, $3 to $5. Reasoning, and it's going to go through the reasoning. Bearish, 50 cents to 1 cent, or 50 cents to $1. So let's compare this to what ChatGPT came back with, and they came back with extreme bearish as, oh, I didn't see, they put in a chart for us too in ChatGPT. Extreme bull, 3 to 5 in large in lemma, and 10 to 15 extreme bullish, 20 to 25. Massive institutional use and euphoria. I like that. So wildly different in both models. One model is local, one model is not. Let me also give you the best usage case for ChatGPT, because that's probably what everybody's using. And if you don't know, you can actually install it right on your computer now. It's not just a website. You've got to go to the Microsoft Store and download it from there, but then it gets installed right on your computer, the little app, and you can click Alt Enter, and it pops up. Alt spacebar, it pops up, and then Alt spacebar, it closes down. So the best use for ChatGPT, I would suggest, is, you're going to be surprised at this, letter writing. The best use for Claude would be coding, programming, and the best use I've been told, and I haven't actually tested it because it's pay for only, is Grok, which is X's, Elon Musk's OpenAI. But I've had some success with images on ChatGPT. As you can see, the image I've got created here is bloody amazing. And this was generated ChatGPT. You do get, on the free account, 3 image generations a day. And if you want a good image, you need to give it a good response. So that's what I'm going to teach you guys quickly to do here at the end of the show. So I'm going to say, instead of just saying, write me a letter about, ocean waves, I'm going to say, write me a funny and professional letter about how ocean waves, on how watching ocean waves gives people a sense of calm and relaxation. The letter is for my friend Mike, and he enjoys flying his kite in the wind. Okay, so we didn't just say, write a letter to Mike. We said, write me a funny and professional letter about how watching ocean waves gives people a sense of calm and relaxation. The letter is for my friend Mike, and he enjoys flying his kite in the wind. All right, whatever that means. But let's get the response. And what I find is it will often when I ask it to write emails, we'll ask it to write an email in a second. Let's read this quick, and then we'll ask it the same thing, but to write an email. Dear Mike, again, this was, 5 seconds it came back. I hope this letter finds you soaring high in spirit, much like your kites in the wind. I was reflecting on the simple joy in life that anchor us amidst the hustle, and I couldn't help but think about the ocean waves. Much like the way your kite catches the wind and dances freely, the rhythmic crashing of waves has a similar magic. It mesmerizes, calms, and whispers to us, relax, buddy, life's all right. Picture this, you're standing on the shoreline, your kite tugging gently at its strings, and in front of you the waves roll in with the predictability of a Swiss watch and the serenity of a sleepy house cat. There's something about that infinite ebb and flow, waves that started their journey long before we ever existed and will continue long after we're gone. It's humbling, isn't it? Scientists, and perhaps a few particularly enlightened seagulls, agree that watching waves can soothe the mind. The consistent movement taps into our primal love for patterns, while the sound of the surf drowns out the noise of our busy brains. It's like nature's version of white noise, only without the monthly subscription fee. See, there it's adding the humor. And let's not forget, Mike, the wind plays its role too, both for your kites and the ocean waves. It's a reminder that the same invisible force that lifts your kite into the heavens also pushes the waves toward the shore, keeping us all connected in some cosmic big game of tag. So the next time you're out flying your kite, take a moment to watch the ocean. Let it calm your mind, inspire your creativity, and maybe even you feel a little philosophical. After all, we're all just little specks in the grand scheme of things, kites dancing in the breeze and waves rolling in, forever chasing the shore. Catch the wind, my friend, and let the waves catch your worries. yours oceanically. And, if I had put my name, it would have had it in there too. So instead, so you see, I don't think any of us are going to write a letter like that in 30 seconds, just with the prompt I put. And so let me change this now into an email. Also, I found the response was a little long. You can write in, write me a short letter, write me a long letter, write me a letter of 100 words. You can pretty much narrow it down to whatever you want. So in this case, I'm going to change it to email because I find some great success with email because it also adds in emojis, I find, with emails, and maybe not with letters. The email is for my friend Mike, and he enjoys flying the kite in the wind. My name is Nick. So in the end, it should add my name to the letter as well, and make the email 150 words. All right. Didn't add emojis, which I'm a little surprised at. Most other times I've done a search, there's always been these really amazing emojis of like spaceships and oceans and you name it that they've added in. I'm not sure why it didn't add that today, but here we go. Subject: Ocean Waves, Nature's Chill Out Playlist. Hi Mike, I hope this email finds you in high spirits, or at least your kite flying high in the wind. I was thinking about how the ocean waves are nature's ultimate stress reliever. There's something magical about their rhythm, rolling in, rolling out, like they're saying, hey, relax, buddy, we've got this. It's basically the universe's way of giving us a free therapy session. Waves and kites have a lot in common, actually. Both are powered by the wind, both move in mesmerizing patterns, and both remind us to let go, not literally with the kite, of course. Watching the waves while flying your kite sounds like peak serenity to me, like the wind and sea are teaming up to calm your mind. So the next time you're out there, let the waves do their thing. You deserve it. Catch the breeze. Nick. Again, I can't write such a good letter like that. I would have to edit and edit and edit and try to make it fun and, professional. I don't think I could do both, and I certainly couldn't do it in 30 seconds. Really fun. It's you guys should play around with it a little bit, use it, learn prompting. There's great prompting guides out there. If you just search prompt guide or prompting guide, you'll find tons of information out there. Don't pay for anything. You can get all this stuff for free, all these prompting guides. There's open source communities, and I find they offer the best ones. And most of the time, if there's some paid for community or paid for prompt, they're just taking the open source community and reiterating it, maybe putting it into AI, then spitting out their own thing and then charging money for it. So you don't need to charge anything. Or you don't need to pay anything to get good prompting guides. So remember, folks, this show is about making yourself, reaching your full potential, making a lot of money, and also remember that money is abundant. I say this every day. Money is everywhere. Time is what's scarce. Spend less than what you earn if you really want to be successful and retire early. If you start making more, you should save more. Don't spend more. Don't look at your neighbors or friends and they bought a Tesla. Okay, I need a Tesla too. Live within your life, not somebody else's life. If you start saving in your 20s, you can definitely retire when you're 40, while everybody else is enjoying the toys of the day and working till they're 65 and 70 and retiring then when they can't enjoy the real things they want to do because they're too old or unhealthy. And if you've got a great idea, start today. Even if you're not ready, Start your idea today, and eventually it might not start the way you want, but it will get there. Our book for the week and all the links are going to be listed in the show notes. And again, the book of the week is I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi. If you found this stream useful, please share, subscribe, and we will see you next time on the screen. Thanks so much for joining.